Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
And I'm sure this is episode 173.
Are you? Are you really sure?
Oh my god. No, that's why I should throw it to you to say the next thing, but we've naturally never figured out how that goes. I want to be
For
like
one,
Wine and Crime or someone where they used to be like, and then you say that thing, and then you say your name, and then you forget to say your name. And then everyone does
take it
their
away.
bit.
Go.
Oh, I know. I never know how to start these, and that'll be a thing, I guess, just forever. But welcome back to
Right.
another episode. Another week has gone by, and you are listening to us again or for the first time. So we're fucking happy about it. We're jazzed.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and we are getting through January, so you're gonna make it, y'all. You got
Right.
this. Here are your words of affirmation. You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it all month long.
Just for the first month, and then you can give up.
Well, no, at least February, I feel like we'll be able to at least pace ourselves a little. I keep saying to Kelsey, I'm like, there's 5 weeks, and then we need to do a Patreon. January's
I
kicking my
know.
ass.
I feel like, ugh.
I don't know.
Feel like it's not getting better. It's like, oh. At work, it was supposed to slow down, but now they're like, you don't have the hours, you get no staff, and then it's
Oh, but at
like,
least you guys weren't being as busy, you said? But like,
it's
okay,
busy
sorry.
enough that like
Yeah.
we don't have enough people to like sustain what we have, but then
Of course.
yeah, normally we get like more merchandise. They start because we just finished our inventory, so they start like kind of building up more stuff because they don't want to have the store like super packed when you're trying to do inventory. It can make it harder, so they kind of
Yeah.
hold back a little bit, and then normally it starts to pick back up, and it hasn't happened yet, and that's where we get a lot of our hours is like, oh, they sent us more items and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that can help
Mm,
with hours, but everything's kind of still been on the
okay.
smaller side. So they're like, oh, we overscheduled for the day, so if anybody calls in sick, like we're not covering it. And
Mm, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
can be hard.
I don't have a lot of sick days left, so it won't be me.
Oh,
I have some vacation days. I should schedule some long weekends, and that way I'll get some rest, and I won't get like
yeah,
legit
don't get burned out.
sick. Yeah, yeah. As I say,
Yeah.
when my kid today is all like, I'm sniffly again, and it's
Oh,
like, oh no, you're back at school, or she gets a cold, like, usually once or twice a school year, or at least
yeah.
a stuffed up nose for several weeks. So
I
she's going
was
through it a bit.
I was from fall to spring constantly runny nose, sniffly. Just I'd be okay for a
Yeah,
week and then I'd catch something else and okay
but to be
for
fair,
a
she said
while.
this week they only had to go Tuesday and Thursday, and so I said, well, were you getting enough sleep so we can go into bed early? I mean, not that she'll sleep in the morning, but
Yeah.
yeah, turn into my night owl. Kids, they're cute. What's going on with you over there this week? I've hardly talked to you.
Yeah, not much. Just working.
Did you plant your little
Next.
flower?
Yeah, you didn't see my.
Okay.
I tagged you on a post on Facebook about it.
Oh,
This.
Facebook. I literally haven't been on there to see the
Oh.
reactions to my own plant photo. But yes, I was wondering how it was doing because mine's like
Yeah,
gone through some stages.
it had one flower, and then over the course of
Yeah.
the next week, now like three more new flowers
Okay.
have opened, and then the first one kind of shriveled up and went bloop.
Exactly. Same for the
But
first ones that appeared on ours. It was
yeah,
weird.
there's still three like really nice big ones for now, and it's starting to get, I don't know, little
Oh, that's nice.
leaves or
Shoots at the
whatever.
bottom?
Yeah, shoots, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it. Like I can see them coming up, starting to come around.
Yeah. That's the part
So
I
I'm
put on
like,
my post that I think like it's giving me the finger because it did look like there was a bunch of little ones
yeah,
coming up at the
looks like
bottom.
little triangles. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, my amaryllis is doing the same thing. I was like, what's happening? Why is some of you
yeah.
dying and being reborn?
Yeah, it seems to have a really quick life cycle or whatever.
Right?
But yeah, it's so pretty.
Follow us on our socials. I am something Alanna Rain Stark on Instagram.
Yeah. I
Oh
think I have
God.
Kelsey212, something like that. Sounds right.
Yes.
Yeah. Mostly on Instagram. I don't really post on either, but
I know. I should post some more. It's kind of fun. Like I take pictures and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, that could be cute, and then I'm just like,
yeah.
it's not as cute as someone else's. I don't know. I just get like all
Yeah, right?
defeatist sometimes.
No.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I'd
I'll
like
be
to
like,
do that. Just take more pictures and post more.
pet pictures. People love pet
Yeah.
pictures. I mean, I know like post a lot of my dog, but I think I'll continue to do that, even
Yeah.
though my camera sucks.
Yeah. Not as good as your, was it Huawei? Is that how you say that? Your
Yes.
Huawei phone? That camera looked like you snapped a picture and it looked like we had already photoshopped it. Like it just
And
looked
I am
phenomenal.
still trying to get the pictures off it. Don't even get me started. I've already tried to transfer them to my laptop and it wasn't
Oh,
working. And I'm not very good at this stuff. So I had to put it back in the fridge so its battery would cool down again so I could make sure it's charged so I could try again. It's like, ugh,
damn.
story of my life. Anyway,
That's
that's a last year problem, right?
right. Yeah.
We're starting fresh.
New year, new problems. Woo.
Right? Like how I said last year, I'd go all year without getting any photo radars or speeding tickets, and I did. But then on January 2nd, I got pulled over by the cops for the first time. Did I even tell you?
No.
Yeah, they said I was
Damn.
speeding and following too close in the morning. Somebody had cut me off, so to be fair, I probably was trying to jockey for a better
Oh,
position and sped up.
yeah.
It was weird because I had never had that happen before. Because so it
I've never
kind
been
of at
pulled
the end.
over. I would probably immediately cry.
Well, because I kind of was like, "Is this for me?" I'm driving along, like, and then I'm like, "Oh wait, there is lights." And then it's like, "Are they just trying to get by?" And then it's like, "Oh no, they're like motioning and stuff." And so then you're like pulling over, and then like one of the other things you said to me was like, "Yeah," and like it also took you a really long time to pull over.
Yeah, I was like, I
And I
don't
was like,
know.
I was like, yeah, it's like my first time. I'm really sorry about that. He was like, all right, like he was
I
very
was not
nice.
evading. I was not evading you. I'm sorry.
Slams on the gas. Maybe in Pat's car. No. It was nerve-wracking though, and then I had to pull back out onto the highway and was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, my like you're trying to look and use your side mirrors and whatnot, but also like my back windows were kind of still icy and stuff. So I don't know. It was I was like, yeah, it's gonna get back out
Yeah,
on the
it can
road
be.
and yeah.
Yeah, especially trying to get back on the highway with no sort of like merge or anything. That would be hard.
And the cops' cars behind you, so they're kind of blocking the view a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Because they tend to pull over a little bit past you, like, so that they're kind of like sticking out.
Mm.
their vehicle. And
Oh,
yours will
okay,
be like
yeah.
more on the shoulder, it seems. So yeah, they'd be kind of blocking any field of vision.
It was tough.
Yeah,
But I
damn.
was like, that's fair. You know, he's like, I could have like given you both speeding and following too closely, and then that could have been demerits. And I was like, oh. And he's like, but I gave you a break, and I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. Like, and
Damn.
well, they're like, yeah, you know, following too closely and shit like that on roads, high speed roads, like, definitely not safe. And I'm like, no, that's fair. I get it. I get a little crazy when I'm going late.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned.
Yeah, I don't like driving on the highway. I typically don't
Yeah.
really ever have to be on there during peak times, thankfully, because I'm
Mm.
like stressed enough driving on them during non-peak times just because I'm not really used to it. So
Yeah, that's why I used to drive through the city.
yeah,
But we live, we learn.
right.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's all. That's all I got really new. Oh, yeah, just once we get this through this terrible week, which by the time this airs, yay, it's Friday. Hello.
Right.
um Pat said he's got us some brunch with our friends Kelly and her
Nice.
girlfriend. Yes. And I'm like, okay, we haven't seen them in a while, and also fun. I like brunch and friends and food. And then I think we have
Right.
D&D, so yeah, I think it should be a good weekend, and
Nice. And then
I'm
my
looking forward
birthday's next
to it.
Saturday,
Your
or
birth.
the Saturday after.
I was like, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's like, damn, January social calendar filling up.
I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, and also, yes, this is our January. This is our Kelsey's birthday week episode. This one goes out to our
Yeah.
Capricorns and to Kelsey, of course, the most magical
Right.
co-host of them all. Um,
Aw.
yeah, it airs a little bit before because this comes out on
Yeah,
the
just a couple days.
17th. Yeah, and you're the 19th, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Happy birthday to all of our January listeners. And every time, if you guys ever want a birthday shout out, I love it when I hear podcasts doing that for people.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it's
that's
so
cute.
cute. Yeah. People will be like, shout out my friend or my that got me into the show. And I'm like, aw.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Show us who your gateway gal is. Who got you into it?
Yeah, your supplier.
Castles and cryptids dealer. Yeah. Well, we're trying to get out there, so yeah, tell your friends that's your PSA for the day.
Right?
Yeah, then we'll get right into it, because damn, folks, we be cutting it close. We got to get you some content out.
I know, we're literally recording this, what, a day and a half before it would post? Not even a
It's,
day and a half. It's
yeah,
like
it's not very in advance for us.
it's like 30 hours before it'll post.
I
It's okay.
saw.
I'm off tomorrow. It was my schedule that messed us up, so
I saw a cute like post from it was Alicia from Twisted and Uncorked. They do the podcast with one host from Canada, one from America, and similar
Mm.
content as in do the wine pairings and stuff, hence the name. And it was like point of view getting ready to record and edit after like 9 hours at your day job, and she's like getting her arms like doing the stretches and like cracking her neck, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, wait, you're gonna try and record and edit in the day too? I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
value
space it
my
out a little.
yeah,
Sorry.
I value my sleep too much.
Yeah. uh,
No.
yeah, yeah, or organize your time is what we're saying, if you ever get into this. Better than we do. No.
I mean, we were
All
doing
right.
good until I started working full time, and then it
Oh
got
man,
a little challenging, but then it was
it's
like
been It's
promotion
cool.
and
Yeah.
everything's been harder because I'm working like another almost 8 hours a week. So that was
Oh
like
yeah.
all the time I was normally working on stuff. So
Oh, I can just couple hours here and there, or like a little bit of seasonal depression where I don't want to work on notes, and all of a sudden I'm like,
yeah,
wow, I'm behind. Yeah.
right? You're like, I just want a week off, damn it. But to have like 1 week off, you need to take like 3 weeks off. Uh,
I know I'm impressed when people really, really pre-record. But anyway, what have you got for us today?
I have
I'm excited.
a fun, creepy little island. Uh, I came
Ooh,
across at
yes.
some point when we were looking up abandoned places, and I was like, ooh, gotta keep this on a list and revisit it because it had pretty interesting history when I first read
Yeah.
about it. I was like, oh, I can't forget this one.
No, I've seen a haunted island or two that has graced a few lists because you're like, it's too good not to make a listicle, right?
Yeah. Um,
That's cool. I like it. And then like they're not always, so mine I had like a few different ones because I was like, they're not always enough to make a whole um episode about for me. So
this
yeah.
one's got a pretty long history, so
Ooh. I do like a long history. I just did a little shimmy.
you did, yeah.
Oh my god, not like the chicken blended. Ooh, shimmy, shimmy, Jimmy.
What?
Fuck. It's in blended. She's like the airhead blonde chick that's dating one of the other couples they sit at the resort with, and she's just always
I don't think
shimmying.
I've ever seen Blended. That has Jennifer Aniston and
No, it's it's Drew Barrymore. It's the second one Drew Barrymore does with Adam Sandler. You might be
oh,
thinking of
okay.
Just Go With It.
Oh, probably. Okay.
The blended, they go to Africa. It's very good. The
Is it?
blended, the blended.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen
Damn,
that
we'll
one.
have to show it. Oh, we loved watching that at our house. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do love Drew Barrymore, so
Right. They have good chemistry, she and Adam Sandler.
nice.
Yeah. Wedding Singer 2.0. But they did anyway.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I heard them talking about when the trailer came out on the How Did This Get Made podcast, and they were very confused about how the movie was going to go. I was like, just wait. When you see it, you'll get the premise. It'll all make sense. Oh, sorry.
So this is the story and history of Poveglia Island in just near Venice in Italy,
Oh, yes, Queen. She's a very
right?
haunted biatch.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I wasn't sure which one you were doing, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So Poveglia is located about 10 kilometers south of Venice, and it's famous for its sinister past and all these reported hauntings. It's pretty creepy.
Dang. Imagine
Yeah.
just being the haunted island.
Right? It was like the creepy doll island in Mexico.
I think that's the other one that I was thinking you might be covering. Yeah.
Oh, I already covered that one. That was
That one you
like,
did. Okay, because I've
yeah,
heard that one
episode
on
2.
places before. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We could use a
150.
refresher.
Yeah, 150 years ago.
Right? Podcasting years worth 2000.
Right. The island was originally called Popilia or Di Poppy, meaning
Oh.
poplars in Italian, probably due to
Oh,
the vegetation and I assume like poplar trees that grow there. It looks
cute.
pretty like forested when you look up pictures of it now. It's very like dense trees.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of made up of 3 islands. 2 of them are natural, and they kind of built like I don't want to call like retaining walls, but kind of like borders to them, and then a little
Ah,
like bridge that would connect the two, and then the third island was like man-made, that was built
Okay.
later.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I'm thinking of the causeway, like I'm picturing when you say that they built connections, like they built a kind of a causeway from Oak Island to the mainland so they could
Oh yeah.
drive the big machines out and not have to take them out on like a ferry or whatever. And it's interesting how
Yeah.
they can just like build a roadway like that
This, it
or an
looks like
island.
from aerial pictures, it's pretty close together, like the two
Mhm.
islands. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, didn't they just like build Manhattan onto some sort of quagmire?
They're doing all sorts of stuff.
Right?
It was first recorded in history in 421, which I think is the earliest
Oh,
year I've ever had to say on the podcast.
right.
I was like, holy shit.
Just
And
421.
yeah, when the inhabitants nearby on other islands went there to flee the barbarian invaders that were coming in to
Oh
Italy,
my god.
which I guess included Attila the Hun, which I know the name. I don't know a lot about him, but I feel like maybe I need to look up some more about him. All I know is he
I,
liked magic and stuff, but that's from Night at the Museum. So,
okay.
yeah.
I got nothing. Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, no. And people ended up settling on the island. They built up a small community. They started growing gardens and then fishing and even extracting salt. That I guess is like pretty abundant there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salt mining.
Yeah. By the late 9th century, it was home to about 200 families that had migrated over from Venice. And
Wow.
yeah, like was looking at the island after, and I can't believe how many like families and houses they said were on it at one point, because it does not look big enough for that many houses. But I guess if they were really, really little.
Yeah. Poor Europe. It's pretty crowded.
Yeah, not by today's standards. What we're used to here in like North America for the size of our homes. Uh,
Yeah.
there were most of the people living on the island were servants of Doge Pietro uh, Tredonica, uh, and the Doge
Ooh.
is like an elected head of the Republic of Venice.
Damn.
And
I do love the title Doge. And
yeah,
I did know someone who had named their cat Doge. But he wasn't looking
yeah.
at Derpy as the Dogecoin dog. Now I can't even say the word. Doge.
Oh, yeah, like the
He kind of looks like a Nikita. He's
I don't think I've
blonde
ever seen it.
and the crypto coin. Okay. Anyway, moving
Uh,
on. I'm sorry.
Um, yeah, that Pietro guy, he was assassinated in
Oh,
864, and
okay.
the after he was assassinated, I guess the servants that lived on the island barricaded themselves in the guy's palace before they ended up being granted their freedom to be able to live on the island of Poveglia.
Oh,
Yeah, and they got some other rights, including like some tax exemption stuff. Uh, that other people that lived in Venice or like the Venice Lagoon Islands had to do, but they didn't have to do. So they had some
damn.
perks.
Weird
Yeah,
little rebellious guys.
right? Less than 100 years later, the community had grown to more than 800 homes. And the island was rich in these vineyards and the salt marshes, and it prospered for the next few hundred years. Uh, how long? Like almost 400 years.
Okay.
We're
They had a
gonna
good
challenge it a
run.
bit. Yeah, or no, almost 500 years. Yeah, about 500 years. Damn. Because this
Nice.
is 1379 when the Kyoja War happened. and this caused the population to decrease considerably.
Hmm.
And though those on the island were tax exempt at the time, the city of Venice was attacked, and the population of Poveglia Island was moved to the Giudecca, a main island in the Venice lagoon. So they were kind of relocated. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
those
And
lagoons. I don't know, man.
yeah, like I really want to go to Venice. It looks so beautiful, and they're saying it's like sinking.
Yeah.
So it might be gone soon. I was like, oh, if it actually like disappears.
So many years of
Um,
history. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah,
And lots
right.
of places like also had not exactly gondoliers. I don't think they'd have called them that everywhere, but saw the words ferryman or wherryman like in London and places before they had all the bridges, and there's just a lot more boats and stuff that went around. It used to be quite the profession, I guess, back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, it's
Hmm.
kind of cool. So getting into the uses for the island after that, once the people that were primarily living there moved away, there is, I guess, multiple sources or rumors kind of going around saying that the island was used during the Great Black Plague. So, like,
That one.
yeah, from 1347 to 1352. But I guess these are false, like they're not corroborated. Um,
Hmm.
but it was started using around the 16th century as like a quarantine island or a
Okay.
lazaretto. So ships, if they were on their way to Venice, if they thought that they might have people or they knew that they had people that were sick, they would make them stop at the Poveglia Island, and then they would like quarantine there for up to 40 days to see if like people got better or if they were really sick and died. And then if like
Yeah.
it passed at that quarantine period, then it could carry on to Venice where more of the population lived and people wouldn't get as sick.
Which is so crazy. I would never understand, other than by trial and error, how they would figure that out before they understood germ theory. And they just,
Yeah, because this
like,
is the 1500s. Like,
yeah, I mean, they kind of were like, oh, things are carried on the air. So they'd, like, maybe, like,
yeah,
close your window and
yeah,
don't go outside. But, like, they didn't understand that it's, I don't know. They, they didn't understand a lot. Didn't have quite the
yeah,
grasp. So that's crazy that they could figure out, like, well, things, any goods or people that we seem to take, and as long as we make it wait like over a month, then
yeah,
usually
right?
it's fine. Yeah, it's crazy that they just like came to that system.
Yeah.
Cool, really cool.
I don't know if they use like if the houses were maybe still there, um, or what, but it said that they used the island to
Yeah.
accommodate travelers who may have been carrying diseases or plague for that quarantine period to prevent the spread. And then some people with severe illnesses that lived in bigger cities or islands were said to have been sent to the island to quarantine after being separated from their families. And
Okay.
yeah, as a result, there were a whole lot of deaths on the island. It's crazy.
Yeah. Right, because they would send people there to die, basically.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's
I do
stuff
remember
talking
hearing
about.
about that in different history books, which is very, very sad. But, like,
Right?
yeah, what else were they supposed to do? Like,
Yeah. Well, they
I
have
don't know.
what, like leprosy colonies and that kind of stuff that happened in the past. And yeah.
Well, that's basically one of the ways, like, we still use the quarantine today. We used it all through COVID. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, effective.
Yeah.
We could argue anyway. Ugh. Don't mark us for talking about
I
the
mean,
schmoronavirus.
I think it
Yeah.
helped at the beginning, but at this point, I was kind of saying it from day one, like you're not going to get it to go away. It's going to be like the cold or the flu. It's going to kill a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
It's here to stay for the rest of our lives. After 6 months or whatever, like I'm sorry, but there's just nothing you could do. It's kind of here. Like, you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, just
Right?
meaning they still use it to kind of keep people from catching it if they have it. But yeah.
Yeah, like if people are really, really sick and stuff, like, I think initially it was good, but yeah, at this point we can't be like quarantining, and at least we haven't really had to do big quarantines or anything since, like, over the last few years, so
Ugh, yeah.
nothing like what was happening at the beginning of 2020, at least.
Yeah, or if you were trying to travel in 2022.
Yeah, right? Damn. Yeah. Um so, like, at this point that it was a quarantine type of island, all the prior inhabitants had gone. Like, there was basically nobody left that was deemed like a permanent type resident, and it remained uninhabited until about 1527, when a new doge
Damn.
offered to, like, I don't know if it was gifted or sell it to like this group of monks, being like to settle on it if they wanted it, and they said
Okay.
no. They were like, hell no. Uh,
Aw. They're giving, but not that self-sacrificing.
yeah. Over the next several decades, more outbreaks of the plague took place. In about 1576, there was around 50,000 people, or about a third of the population of Venice, that ended up dying of the plague about that year, and ended
Wow.
up being like their bodies were transported and buried on the island.
Oh, so they just buried him there too. Damn.
Yeah. Um yeah, I
That's
guess there
rough.
was yeah, there was kind of like mass grave type things. Like, they would just like dig a huge hole, and all the bodies from like a certain point would go in there. I did run into stuff people were
Yeah.
talking about, like, not all of them were dead and whatever, but if you were too
Oh.
sick to fight back, they were just going to put you in the hole if they thought you were going to die.
Oh no, like they joke about in the Monty Python one with the
Yeah.
corpse card and the I'm not nearly dead yet, but like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
That's so rough.
you're nearly enough, I guess.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, you realize that it is very dark comedy based on real history, I guess. You're like, oh
Right?
shit. That
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah.
I guess there would be more than 20 more outbreaks of the plague in Venice. And at the island's center, the dead and those too sick to protest were burned on giant pyres, I put, like, apparently. So, yeah, it seemed like
Okay.
some of them were buried, some of them were burned, and then their ashes might have been buried. Uh,
That makes sense. It
yeah.
would make more space
Yeah,
also.
not sure what qualified, like, one for the
Yeah.
other. And there was also a great Italian plague that happened from 1629 to 1631, which killed about 140,000 people in the Republic of Venice. And as a result of that plague, there was more than 46,000 more bodies that ended up being transported and buried on the island.
Oof. I
Yeah.
mean, I know we had definitely had some outbreaks over the years of things that we don't really have now. The plague, cholera, all the fun ones.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's a lot of
Right.
people.
Yeah, it was kind of, I was not expecting those like types of numbers. It made me start thinking about like the catacombs in Paris and like just all
Yeah.
the
That had to
bodies
have
that
been
are there, but I know that
yeah.
accumulated over like centuries and everything. This is centuries as well, I guess, but
Yeah, it's funny you should say
it's
that
still a lot.
the book I'm reading, they had to someone just took shelter in a part of the catacombs, and they were saying how I
Oh
think it was
no.
early I want to say it was 1800s when they decided they had too sorry my phone went off. They had too many bodies and started putting all the ones from before
Yeah.
then down there. But
Yeah.
it's so crazy. Yeah.
It's so creepy. Like that's what, like millions or tens of millions of like remains
Right.
they're estimating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they figured that out. Like the amount of skulls or something. That would probably be the easiest way, but like goddamn.
Oh my God. Yeah, because if there's some rooms that are just random bones, there's no way
Yeah.
to get a
Yeah.
possible exact number.
Yeah, just
Sad.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that happened 1645. The Venetian government built 5 octagonal forts to protect and control the entrances leading to the Venice lagoon, like the main islands. So that's kind of like what that third island I talked about that they created. It's a little like octagon that sits on the one side. That's the man-made part.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And of these 5 forts that they built at the time, only the one at the Poveglia Island still stands. I guess the other ones, um, yeah, I don't know what happened to the other 4 exactly, but yeah, that's the only one still around.
Time has ravaged them beyond repair.
Yeah, something. Gordo was just moving around, I guess. Um,
He settled in. Oh my gosh, I almost put drink every time or like count every time Gordo purrs in the last one. I think it was the last one. Yeah,
oh,
it was cute. He kept getting picked
yeah.
up on the mic.
He was so happy and cuddly. Sometimes.
Yeah, you could hear it.
Aww. Uh, all right. By the late 1700s, there was more lazaretto buildings that
Oh,
were
okay.
constructed on the island, and then they were worried about water contamination with all of the dead bodies everywhere. So they were building new wells and everything, which I don't
Because
even
isn't this where
on
they
if
put the lepers too? Lazaretto places?
um
Sounds so familiar.
they might have been like thrown in. I didn't see anything specifically talking about lepers, but
Oh, okay. Chuck them in there.
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm sorry. Don't listen to me.
I saw just a lot of stuff talking about plagues, but I assumed that
Okay.
very well could have been. It seems like just anybody who was kind of more gravely or seriously sick seems to have been sent here.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I mean, they had leopard
Um,
colonies on one of the islands in Hawaii. The Hawaiian Islands
yeah,
was for lepers.
yeah. Uh, there was also a point where like a church was operated on the island. It was built and constructed, and they had like this big bell tower. Um, and I guess Napoleon, like when he invaded the area, he had like most of the church destroyed except for the bell tower, which is still there today. So it like shows up in the pictures.
Fucker.
Uh, Napoleon. Over the next few
It,
centuries,
yes, sorry.
Poveglia Island remains a quarantine island with no permanent inhabitants. Like people are just sent there to die or sent there to quarantine and then leave.
It's not there for all their
Um,
limbs to fall off with their leprosy. We don't want to look at you anymore. Outcast.
something.
So mean.
During the Second World War, it was occupied by soldiers, and the bodies of war victims were also buried there. Don't know how
Hmm.
many um, are there that were war
Damn.
victims, but yeah.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. They don't deserve to just be like lumped in there. Nobody does.
Yeah.
Just to be thrown in a big pit, obviously.
Right? The island kind of transitions to like more psychiatric hospital in 1922. The hospital is built on the island, and according to rumor, like almost right away on their arrival, patients and staff had begun seeing ghosts of what they thought were plague victims. Uh,
Oh.
Over the 5 centuries that had been like buried there, estimates range from like between 100,000 to upwards of 160,000 people were burned and buried or just buried on the island. So
Wow.
a lot for like when you look at pictures of the island, it's kind of amazing that there would have ever been like that many bodies. Even when they say there's 800 homes on the island, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. They must have been tiny.
Yeah, and then bringing over people that are already dead just for the purpose of burial. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
so they couldn't have taken up that much room, but still, it's very sad to think about for sure.
right? Um, yeah, so like the doctors and patients and stuff are reported to see these visions and ghosts of the plague victims who died. And I guess wanting to
Mm.
figure out the source of these visions, there was apparently a resident doctor um, who was like, I don't know why he thought by trying to investigate, the best way to do it would be like performing lobotomies and other dangerous experiments on patients to like try and figure out the source of their visions. Yes.
What?
You gotta
Oh,
love a
this.
story that has lobotomies. Oh my god.
And this is
Yeah.
just some random dude? Sorry, wait.
No,
How is he connected?
he's a supposedly a doctor, like that worked at the psychiatric hospital.
Oh, because it became a psychiatric hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Weird. That's a lot of
Uh,
bad juju.
right? I was like, all the things. It's a plague island, now it's a psychiatric hospital with lobotomies
Yeah.
on it. Like one bad thing
Oy,
after
oy, oy.
another.
Yeah, there's some heavy vibes there for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's open. I don't know if I'd want to go, but we'll wait till the end.
We'll get to it. Uh, One of the most popular rumors on the island is that that doctor supposedly tormented and tortured by the patients who were victims of his experiments, but also maybe by the many people who had previously died and were buried on the island, ended up throwing
Yeah.
himself from the top of the hospital bell tower.
Oh,
Uh,
suicide. Oh no.
well, some things said that he died, and then I ran into a couple other things that said he had survived but was reportedly
Hmm.
strangled by a strange mist that came out of the ground, but still like
Whoa.
at the scene. And then I ran into other stuff that said that he died years later. So I don't really
Oh, that's shrouded in
know.
myth
Yeah.
and legend. Damn.
There's also kind of no confirmation that this doctor ever existed, so who knows? But
Oh no.
um,
We'll
ended up
speculate wildly, I guess.
right. The hospital and island ended up getting abandoned in 1968 and have remained uninhabited ever since. Uh,
Mm.
from the people nowadays that kind of managed to get there, there's no word on like the ghost of the doctor haunting the island. Hello. Fuck, Jordan. Go over there. You're not. Just get right between me and the mic. Why do you have to
Oh, I
jump up
kind of
on
wish
that
that
side?
was recorded on video because he literally just jumped the keyboard. It looked like.
I know. I have like 2 inches of space between me and the mic, and I don't know why he chose to come
Oh
up
my
from this
god.
side and like.
It's how
Ugh.
Fenrir walks up every set of stairs. Oh, you're on this side? Well, I'll just squeeze in between you and that side.
Yeah, jeez.
Fuck.
Yeah. So the island's abandoned once again by 1968. The surviving buildings on the island consist of a cabana, so like a closed-in like boat port. There's
Oh,
part
okay.
of the church, a hospital, an asylum, the bell tower, and then housing and administrative buildings for the staff. I assume of like the hospital and stuff.
Mm, okay.
And they say that the bell tower is the most visible structure from like the main island if you're like looking out past the water towards Poveglia Island. And that bell tower belonged to the church that was built there, and after the church was demolished, the bell tower, I guess, was reused and converted into more so of a lighthouse, to like light the way for ships and everything that were coming near Venice.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Lighthouses are pretty funky too. Some of them can be kind of spooky.
I know, I'm like, this one's probably really creepy, just because of the history
Oh,
of the island.
for sure. You're like, it was a haunted everything. And then there was a
Yeah,
lighthouse.
yeah. And then they built the lighthouse. No. And
Yeah.
3 people went missing one stormy night. No.
And they're just kind of isolated and yeah.
Yeah. So there's like, what is this source? Sanctuary Veronic. Oh my god, what even is this? Veronic Q Lessard. Now.
Oh,
I should
Veronique.
have. Yeah, Veronique Lessard.
Ah.
Sanctuary Veronique Lessard. I don't know.
Mm.
They had a lot of really good information about it, like really
Okay.
nicely laid out. Um
Oh,
yeah,
it
so I
must
had a
be
little,
Italian. Yeah, maybe I'm giving you the French pronunciation. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Carry on.
but
Sounds
yeah,
cool.
this is from directly from that article. It said
Okay.
since 2004 the island was used for viticulture, or growing grapes for wine. Uh
Oh, that's
and
what
then
that
I
is.
added, even though most of the soil is made up of human remains.
I
Yay.
mean, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Life is short, so drink wine we must.
Yeah. Maybe people remains make the best grapes. I don't know.
Drink corpse wine we must.
Yeah. Gordo.
Oh, God.
And
Gordo. Sorry.
fast forwarding to 2014, the Italian government had tried to distance itself from the island, but also kind of trying to, I don't know, make some sort of profit or something off of it at the same time. Because they started offering a 99-year lease for the use of the island, but at the same time, they created an association called Poveglia for All, and it was
Oh.
designed, like, the association was to prevent, if somebody did take them up on like the lease offer, that they could not turn it
Oh.
into a like any sort of holiday resort or like vacation, like luxury condos or like anything like that, I think it said.
Huh.
um yeah,
Okay.
just yeah. So, so they're like, lease the island, but don't turn it into a luxury resort. So kind of, it seems like nobody's like, I know it's been like what, 11, at least 10 years. Nobody seems to have done anything with it, taken them up on the offer.
Yeah. Because you can't really have control of it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess it'd be like, yeah, you're kind of just renting a property, but it does kind of remind
yeah,
me of when they like try to option a story into like a movie or something, and they're like,
yeah,
but if you can't make it good, then we just get to keep that money, and you go bye bye. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't really understand the business.
um I think trying to help with that, there was a thing that happened in 2016 where the Young Architects Association held a competition that invited architects to submit ideas for the construction of a university campus on the island, which sounds wild to me.
Okay.
Let's just make a haunted ass university campus on this random island that you need to take a boat to get there. Like, what are we even doing?
I mean, quite the campus, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Where
who
did you go?
who was
To haunted university.
is it being backed by like Tim Burton or
Yeah. What's his face from Ghost Adventures? Fucking Zach Bagans. Is he gonna like
Ooh,
run
yeah.
the fucking campus?
Oh no.
um, the website also said to date the island is off limits to tourists and even local fishing boats and stuff. Like really intentionally steer clear of coming anywhere near the island.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
like it. Um, because of the island's morbid reputation, rumor has it that it would be possible to bribe a carrier for about $300 Canadian or 200 euros to kind of take you there
Wow.
if you can find somebody. But it is pretty dangerous on there, and it is isolated as like there's no way to call for help. There's no like nothing
Right.
there.
Sounds
Apart
like the start
from
of one of those episodes we were talking about earlier of Mr. Ball. It's like people that went where they weren't supposed to go. Yeah.
yeah, or like a horror
Well,
movie where a
yeah.
whole bunch of white tourists are like, "Oh, you shouldn't go here. The locals say not to," and then you're like, "But we're white people. We have we have one cell phone and a shitty map."
I just need a selfie. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. uh. Yeah. Uh. There it says apart from the few buildings that are still standing but also like forbidden and like really dangerous to enter, the
Mm.
vegetation has really overgrown. Ceilings
Ooh.
have caved in and staircases have fully collapsed. Like it's just if you went in there,
Yeah.
like something could fall on you. You don't want to go
Yeah.
on to like the second story of anything. Yeah, and the
Yeah, that's
structures.
not good.
No, it does look kind of pretty. Like I found a few pictures that people have taken. It looks nice. Like there's ivy and like vegetation that is like grown everywhere. And then there's also like really creepy hospital beds, but like ivy has grown around it. So it's like pretty and green, but you're like, but that's a hospital bed.
Yes. No, this is a whole aesthetic that it's not cottage
Yeah.
core, but like there's a subreddit you can follow called abandoned porn. And it's not
Yes.
someone's magazines they left in a house in the neighborhood down the street.
Right.
Although I've
Foreclosure
seen stuff
porn.
like that in real life. But yeah, it's cars in the woods and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Houses
Um,
grown over. Yeah. Looks so
yeah,
cool.
this very much looks like that. And the
Yeah.
structures, like the bridge that was joining the two islands, are basically impassable and dangerous to even go on, even for, they describe the most experienced explorer. So
Yeah.
if you do
I
manage
bet.
to get anybody to take you, it can be pretty dangerous if you're not set up or you don't have like I don't know, like a satellite phone and that kind of stuff to if anything happens.
Yeah. Don't recommend this dark tourism.
No. I do have some stuff about hauntings that people have made it to the island have talked about.
Nice.
They describe feeling like oppressive, felt like they were being observed and watched as they kind of walked and explored. And
Yeah. That's
the
gross.
paranormal right? The paranormal activity that occurs is said to increase like tenfold during the night. And since 2009, paranormal investigation groups that have gone to the island have reported hearing voices, screams, they've heard like laments, and other unexplained noises. So, I mean,
Screams. Great.
in an abandoned island.
Then just someone
Um,
else just complaining because, god damn it, they got left here to die. And they're
right?
not nearly dead yet. Just a flesh wound.
I was just gonna say, just a scratch.
Feeling much better.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh.
and I guess using like technology and stuff, they've also recorded unusual electromagnetic fields throughout the island, which is really, really bizarre because there's actually no electricity, I guess, of any kind or like any electricity sources available on the island.
Ew.
So
Okay.
Yeah, they have no idea, I guess, where this is coming from. Uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
odd.
right? Like, there's nothing that,
Just,
yeah.
I guess what do they call it when you get picked up the ghostly voices? An EMF, electromagnetic, magnomic, magnetic phenomena,
Metronomic? Oh.
spectronomy, forensic spectralonomy. Yeah,
Uh,
I know nothing.
Visitors have also claimed to hear a bell ringing, even though the bell from must be the bell tower was removed in the
Yeah.
1960s, and the
Ooh,
nearest church is over 10 kilometers away. That
ooh,
must be
ghost
like,
bell.
yeah.
Killed by the
Uh,
ghost bell. No, it's the opposite of
they,
Satan's bell.
oh, these were little stories. I didn't run across these anywhere else. This was from the littlehouseofhorrors.com.
Yeah.
Horrors, not horrors. Horrors.
No, I've seen that source. I may have used it this time. I can't recall. There's definitely some good ones that have um, nice either listicles or like little shallow dives or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some stuff I didn't see anywhere else. Like, Little Maria is a spirit that is seen on the island for over 400 years. It's a childlike spirit, most likely died from the plague, and is said to roam the beach while she cries in a heartbreaking way. Oh,
Oh,
that's creepy.
damn, girl. I hate the little kid ones.
Yeah.
That sucks.
There's also some spirits from the time it was used as a psychiatric hospital.
Of
There's
course.
Pietro.
Maybe that's the
Oh, another.
screams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Pietro, a man with 2 amputated legs, used to race his
Oh.
wheelchair through the hospital. Oh,
We used to do
that's
that at
good.
the old folks' home when we were bored. We had legs, though. Just to be clear.
Uh, People claim that they can hear his phantom wheelchair racing up and down the corridors.
Oh, damn. That's very
Yeah.
specific. No, I can't do it. I'm just trying to think of what it would sound like.
A greasy wheel or a squeaky wheel.
Yeah. Just like someone's arms pumping. I don't know.
I guess there's also a spirit named Frederico who grins and laughs out loud the entire day. It's
Oh, okay.
creepy. I don't like that. And the spirit
Inspiration for smile.
the spirit of a young female is seen regularly as well. She has a terrifying expression on her face, and people say she's scared of the mad doctor who still performs his sick experiments here.
Oh, I don't like the scared spirits that are scared of the other bad
No.
ghosts.
Yeah, I
They
don't
did an
like.
episode like that on Supernatural.
Yeah, right? People stuck in uh
House. Limbo.
yeah, limbo where they're like reenacting their like trauma or whatever leading up to their death. Yeah, those are always
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, I'd rather it just be a residual haunting where it looks like they're reenacting it, but they're not really there. Like, I don't know. You hope
Yeah.
they're not reliving the torture. Yeah. Ugh.
There's also, I guess, a pair of huge eyes that have been seen just below the water surface, and
Okay.
people have seen faces behind the windows of the hospital. Don't like that.
Ew. Huge eyes, faces. Okay. Damn.
People claim being watched and even followed around the island during their visit. Some get emotional when stepping on the island, feeling deep dread and sorrow. And oh, this I thought was really creepy. It said that the hospital can be entered through one of several places, but the easiest entrance to get into the hospital is also the creepiest. You have to crawl through one of the cremators. Like, fucking oven.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like
like to get into the hospital. because I
Actual crematorium
yeah,
machine.
like
Okay.
yeah, like one of the incinerator type things. I guess
Right.
everything else, like there's other ways to get in. I guess this is said to be the easiest. So I think structurally, maybe the other ones have kind of collapsed.
Oh my
So that's
god.
very creepy, like having to fucking crawl through that to
Very
get.
anything with a crawl, spelunk, get into a catacomb.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm out.
right?
If I can't easily walk back out of where I'm going into,
Yeah.
I'm
If there's not
stuck.
a clearly marked walking trail that like with directions, it's like here's a resting
Yeah.
area with a little picnic table and a garbage can. No.
An
Uh,
elevator or stairs, just something
yeah.
like a silly slide. I don't know. Yeah.
Uh, Visitors who go to the hospital claim to see shadows on the walls that appear to follow them throughout the facility. And sometimes people report getting scratched and pushed, I think, while they're inside. So that's pretty creepy.
Okay. I don't like being scratched and pushed by
No.
anyone, including
Uh,
spectral people.
yeah.
No bueno.
Um. Oh, these are a couple things from that sanctuary, Veronique Lazard, whoever. I'm
Ooh,
sorry. Uh,
Lestat. No.
Lizard. No. Uh,
Lizzo. Yeah. Just kidding.
it said that in 2016 there was a group of Colorado Americans who apparently had
Hmm.
access to the island during the night and must be had access to the island during night and had to be rescued by the Venetian firemen. Upon arrival, the tourists were supposedly in a state of shock and panic and claimed to have seen and heard paranormal entities. It's like they called to be rescued. So,
Okay. Well, you guys got
yeah.
yourself into that situation.
I also read an account that like a guy without a cell phone and everything went to the island by himself, and then
Ugh.
he had decided he was going to I can't remember where he said he was going to sleep, but he got like really creeped out, so he decided to relocate, like packed up his sleeping bag and everything and took it to the docks, like right where he would get picked up first thing in the
Mm.
morning. He had like set up. Fucking excuse you.
I'm
Damn. Gordo.
recording the video next time just in case he does that. Sorry.
Just a montage of him. Foo, 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 foo. No. Yeah, you look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm so cute. I'm innocent.
It's not
Uh,
distracting at all. Just in the middle of a story, and just a cat goes in front of your face.
oh. Okay.
Oh my god.
Uh, yeah, so he relocated to the docks because he had lined up to be picked up like
Oh,
the
that's
next
good.
morning.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a phone or anything. And it said
Well, at
his
least you
flashlight.
arranged a
I
pickup, but like, yeah, it's not
Yeah,
good. This is not
I think it
good.
even said his flashlight like either stopped working or that's
No,
all he had with him. So he basically like laid
sir.
curled up on the docks in his sleeping bag with like only his head exposed, like facing the island with like the flashlight like clutched in his hand. And he said he laid like that for 8 hours until the rescue boat came. And I was like, okay, cool. Like
With your
uh
knife under your head, your Swiss Army knife.
yeah. And it was so stupid. He's like, I didn't see any entities and I don't believe the island's haunted. And it was like, but then why do you act like that, buddy? Like, no, it was really weird
Okay.
to me. I was like, your story makes no sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
What kind of cred are you going for?
yeah, I was like,
Can't figure it
okay.
out.
It was like, but you like decided not to lay here and lay on the dock, like said you were shaking and stuff. Whatever.
It's not haunted. I'm just a coward.
Yeah. Uh Also from that website, it said according to paranormal investigations, um, and the inhabitants of Venice, the island of Poveglia, would be considered one of the most haunted islands in the world. And unless authorized by city authorities, anyone attempting to venture onto the island without prior permission is actually subject to heavy fines. And like, I don't know if they could
Okay.
charge you for like trespassing or what. It said that you can
Right.
apply if you're like a paranormal investigation group. You can
Oh, damn.
apply or like send in stuff to get approval to
There
go
might
on the
just be a
island.
Ghost Adventures episode. Yeah.
I think it said that somebody did. I'm pretty sure it was
I think,
one of them,
yeah.
but
I think I've heard of one. But yeah, I don't think too many people get to go out.
yeah, it
Yeah.
said that like after you submit the paperwork and try and get permission, it can take up to a year for it to get approved. So like it's a long time.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know what
As
goes
bad as
into
Comic
it.
Con. San,
Right?
or the San Diego one. We've tried in the past. I don't know. I don't know what you gotta do.
Yeah, so locals recommend that tourists do not set foot on the island. They consider it to be cursed.
Yeah.
And I ran across one thing that said it had been given the nickname the Island of No Return. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. I like it. I like it. Episode
Yeah.
title, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I guess at some point there's been rumors of a prison that was constructed and like ran on the island, and this remains a heated debate. Some claim to have identified like prison-like structures, but yeah, almost everything says like there was never any actual prison that operated there. So I
Okay.
don't know where that rumor's coming from, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Guess they were able
hospital
to hold.
doesn't. It's a psychiatric
Yeah.
hospital. It doesn't look that friendly.
No, I'm
And
sure
then it
they could
had
use
like,
it as a place to hold people. Yeah.
yeah,
It's an
um,
institution.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Dang.
also ran across something that said it was like after it was a psychiatric hospital, briefly it was like a long-term care facility or like something. I was like,
Oh.
damn, you're just like, it's haunted. Now we're gonna send old people here. That just sucks.
And like, is that just what we're calling it now? Because we're just also sending people there
Yeah.
to kind of be in palliative
That.
care or whatever. Yeah. What the
Yeah.
hell?
I don't know. I did
I'm
run
not
across
sending grandma there. Sorry.
yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ran across one thing that I don't know who did this analysis. Other stuff have said this is just claims, but it's reported that through analysis that was done on the soil on the island, that 60% of the soil consists of human remains and ashes.
Oh
So
my God.
it's a lot. Uh
Wow.
yeah, and
That's
apparently they're
crazy.
still I don't know if people are still growing grapes there for wine. They were in 2004.
Oh, right.
So that's weird, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't think it's like, what is it, unsanitary? You're not supposed to use dog poop as fertilizer, but I think we're
Yeah.
supposed to go back to nature. But that's like that amount, that concentration. Yeah, never
Yeah,
heard of that.
it's really high.
Yeah, who knows what that could actually, do to the soil or long-term effects. Like,
I don't know if you look at it like as I said, like it looks very lush. It looks like it's really overgrown and the trees are like it's
thriving.
basically yeah, like tree canopy and then the building. Like everything is so
Ooh.
packed. You can't really see like the ground or
Yeah,
anything. So
but there's no
yeah.
dolls hanging everywhere. There's at
No.
least that. Sounds prettier than that other haunted island then.
Yeah, like I wish I had found more pictures. It seems like a lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
sources and stuff when I was trying to look it up kind of use like I don't know, stock photos. I kind of want to say of like here's a picture of a mass grave. Here's the same picture of the island building like 82 times.
Yeah.
And then like,
No, it's probably hard to
yeah,
find ones that you can actually use.
I was gonna see if there was I didn't have time to, but I was gonna try and see if I could find like drone footage, like maybe somebody's done like a flyover of it,
Ooh,
or something like that. Because
flyover.
it's not too far. Like there's rented things that you can do that's kind of more socially accepted, where they'll like take you by boat, kind of like past the island as part of a
Oh
tour and
yeah.
like talk about it, but you won't like go too close to it. So
Yeah. A float by.
yeah. Um, yeah, so maybe somebody's taking
Yeah.
a drone or something out there, and sometimes that's the best way. It doesn't disturb
Yeah.
stuff and
So I'm
less
sure he has a
dangerous.
YouTube video or something we can
Yeah,
watch.
I just ran out of time, but if I find one, I'll put it on the website.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I hear you. That's why I was like, said to you, oh, we should start recording. Even I was like, and we'll.
Yeah.
I was like, because I know I want to put some pictures up for my segment or show or whatever if we end up splitting this one. So I was like, yeah, I better let's record. We gotta get some stuff out for our peeps, and yeah, then some of them have more pictures than others. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I didn't run across much. Buddy,
Yeah.
can you chill?
Gordo. All right.
He's looking at
Well,
me like, but, hi. Oh, you just went,
see Gordo in profile. He's depending on how I try to cut it out or we try to cut it out, he's leapt over the keyboard twice.
yeah.
It's just like Fast and the Furious thing over there.
He's just look at him. He's just sitting on the desk, just staring me down. Look,
yeah, his
look
like
at the.
half his face was still in profile because he's just like trying to be right up in your face.
You look at the webcam.
Um,
Just staring at me. Are you gonna attack me? You're making such direct, prolonged eye contact right now. I don't like it. That normally means you're gonna try and attack me.
oh no.
Hello, everyone. Kelsey here. We didn't record our regular outro as we weren't sure if we were going to be splitting the episode, but just wanted to come in and say thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week where we'll have Alanna segment and some more haunted AF. And thanks for listening. Shout out for Patreon. We have tons of bonus episodes on there where you can join, become one of our special Illuminati, and different levels get different things. You can choose an episode topic, you could get shout outs, or just access to all of our monthly bonus episodes and mini-sodes and video-sodes that we've done. So thank you for listening, and catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon: cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your hosts making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.